this is a big issue. We've been talking about it for years, about the amount of money that's either shifting into the hands of women, what it means, what the differences are. I am curious, and maybe not everybody's aware of all the work that you guys are doing. You have this very specific mission at Pivotal. Remind everybody what you're up to. And I am curious about what it means on a day-to-day basis, what you're looking forward to invest in, relationships, and so on.
Yes, again, well, thank you for having me. Pivotal is an organization founded by Melinda French Gates in 2015. We are focused on advancing social progress. And specifically, when Melinda set up Pivotal, she realized that we would need multiple levers and tools to do that, including philanthropy and investment capital, to get more power in the hands of more people, particularly women. So we invest in women-led funds. We also invest in companies that are innovating in areas and themes like women's health and caregiving, where women carry a lot of burden. And there's great opportunity to drive innovation, and we think make a lot of money investing behind those themes as well. So that was the real impetus to found Pivotal for Melinda. She wanted women to be in a position to make decisions, control resources and capital, and influence the decisions that are happening in our workplaces, in our communities, in our schools, and in our homes. And that's what we're setting out to do with our investments every day.
So when you identify those investments, when you identify where you want that money to go, what are the things that actually advance power and influence for women in your view?
It's having women in positions to make decisions. So as we invest in funds that, again, are predominantly women-owned and led firms, they're investing across a spectrum of sectors, everything from AI, enterprise, digital health, financial technology, fintech, the care economy, which is one of my favorite topics. I'm happy to talk a lot more about that too. But that's what women's power is for us. It's women, again, in a position to make these decisions. And it's also true for our direct investing as well. Many of the companies that we backed have female leaders and some do not. But we're just trying to find founders and innovators that are really solving problems for everyday Americans and everyday women.
I love that, and we want to get into some of the specifics in terms of where you guys are investing, but this idea of getting money in the hands of women, how many times do we sit around this table, and it doesn't matter what group we're talking about, money talks.
Yes.
It gives you a seat at the table, whatever table that may be. And it's just fascinating that here we are still in 2025 and it's still a struggle. But this idea that you guys are specifically targeting women and making sure that they are having the money they need to kind of grow their power, that's really important.
It is. It's incredibly important, Carol. And the numbers have improved. About a decade ago, about 9% of decision makers, partners at U.S. venture capital firms were women. That number's grown to about 18%. So we've made meaningful progress in the last 10 years, but we have a long way to go. And as you both shared in the opening, that $30+ trillion of assets that are held by baby boomers that are most of that transferring now to women. Women are going to want different things with their money. They want different advisors. They want products that meet their needs and solve some of the issues and problems that they're facing. And so we see, again, a huge opportunity if we can change the face of who is making the decisions. That brings real power and real change.
Can we talk about caregiving for a minute?
Yes.
It's an area of your focus. It's an area of focus at Pivotal Ventures. It's something that Carol and I think a lot about.
Been involved in it.
Yes.
How do you make this work structurally in an economy like ours?
We have to start with the care infrastructure. We've supported research at Pivotal Ventures that sizes the care economy at $648 billion. I'm going to pause and let that sink in. Every time
So that's for people's offspring, but also for people's parents and other loved ones they might be taking care of.
Exactly, Tim. It's the full spectrum. I describe it as end of life, back to beginning of life, child care, elder care. We think of women's health solutions to help you optimize your home life better, to care and age in place. All of that is a part of that $648 billion market. And we've ignored caregiving for too long. It's the most important work. As you said, we all do. Everyone's a caregiver at some point in their lives. And as we thought about sectors or themes where women specifically carry a big burden, caregiving is one of them. And we want to fund the innovators and the founders that are building companies to address these solutions. And again, just make that loving work that we do easier.
Yeah, because you don't, I mean, the gaps that are out there is tremendous. And if you have money, it's a lot easier. If you don't, it's really, really a struggle. One thing I want to get to, and I think about how you guys are going about this. Last month, the Aspen Institute launched the Workplace Workplace Innovation Now Challenge, WIN Challenge. You guys are involved in it. A $60 million grant competition.
Yeah.
What's the goal here? What's the mission?
The goal is to find better solutions for women in the workplace. We are thrilled to partner with the Aspen Institute in this initiative and looking at ways that we can improve the workplace environment for women around AI, around culture, around narrative. So there'll be more coming out in the weeks and months ahead. I encourage social entrepreneurs, philanthropists to take note and support that work alongside us, because we need better solutions for women in all facets of our lives.
We've made progress, but we could do better.
We could do more.
It's just, this is, I feel like we have talked about women and money for a long time, women in power in a long time. And like you say, we've made progress. But, if you could change one thing, we've just got about 30 seconds, that would really improve women, money, power, like the whole thing. Yeah. What would it be?
I think it's knowing what you own and asking questions, not being satisfied with the status quo. I think that's probably the biggest thing. One thing that we try to do with our investment process, and that our founder, Melinda French Gates, has empowered us to do, is to build a diligence process, a sourcing process that's more inclusive, that tries to build and find new patterns of success as investors. And I think that's one thing that I would encourage all of us, whether it's with your personal, your 401k, or if you're or other institutional investors, to take that tack.